Right then, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa F1 Championship. We are here for round 8 of the 2021 Formula 2 Championship here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. Yes, Formula 2 is back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here at the legendary Spa Circuit. We're just getting ready for 20 minutes of qualifying around the Spa circuit. Rodrigo Jimenez in the Prema is the first man out today on track. My name is Miran in the commentary booth, and joining me this very, very beautiful afternoon, it is Giuseppe. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Miran. It's always good to be back at this iconic circuit, so let's just go ahead with it.
Yeah, certainly going to be very, very exciting indeed. The championship rages on then into the last 5 rounds of the championship, so it's going to be pretty exciting to see. But as Jimenez starts his lap of the Spa circuit, it is time to go through the track. So, Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, also just known as the Spa Circuit, was opened in August of 1921, making this one of the oldest tracks on the Formula 2 calendar. It hosted the first ever Belgian Grand Prix back in 1925 and has held a Grand Prix here every year since 1985, with the exception of 2003 and 2006. The original layout of this track was 15 kilometers long and connected the 3 Belgian towns of Francorchamps, Malmedy and Stavelot, but obviously the track length was reduced over the following years. Not only is the Belgian Grand Prix the main highlight here, obviously, you have the 24 hours of Spa, which has run here ever since 1924. You have the 6 hours of Spa in the World Endurance Championship, and one of the longest motor races in the world, the Uniroyal Fun Cup 25 hours of Spa. Yes, that is an actual event. There's also been a million other racing series that have come here over the almost 100-year history of Spa. If I would name all of them, we'd be here all day, so I will not do that. But the layout, which we are running, which has been in place since 2007, is 7.004 kilometers long, so it is just over 7 kilometers, and it features 20 turns, and a race lap record in Formula 2 is a 1:59.8. And this track, in my opinion, needs no introduction at all. It's got a lot of flowing corners, lots of high-speed corners, and every single corner carries such a legendary name to it. Has a lot of history to it. You've got Radion and Rouge, you've got Les Combes, Bruxelles, Pouon, you've got Blanchimont, the bus stop chicane. You've got so many legendary corners on this track. I really can't do it justice by trying to describe the track, so I won't. Either way, we're just having the first few times coming in on the board then. And Giuseppe, if I can't describe the track, I'm not sure if you can either, but I will still try and ask you of your thoughts and opinions about the track.
Well, honestly, I think what we can say is this is just like a test of beating your fears, honestly. It's got probably one of the most drastic elevation changes on the calendar, not only here in Formula 2, but in general, in Formula 1 probably as well. And it just goes up and down. I mean, I only need to tell you Eau Rouge and Radion, and you already know what I'm talking about as we're going through right now, Gabriel Gomez. So if you're able to master this track, then I don't know if you're going to have a hard time mastering others.
Yes, indeed. This is one of the toughest tracks on the calendar in terms of testing the driver and the car as well. And yeah, it really is just a measure of skill and bravery to win around this track. So we're having the first few times coming in on the board. Jake Tillisley currently fastest, and Jokubas Kauskas, the Lithuanian, just settled into second there. And yeah, it's looking interesting in the championship as well, as we headed out of Hockenheim. Henry J. Brown, who took the race win last time out, now leads by 19 points ahead of Jean-Francois Billot, who went pointless at Hockenheim, so it did cost him quite a lot. Axel Socki also went without any points, and he sits third in the championship with Rodrigo Jimenez in P4. We were just looking at Håkan Olsen. There, now we're looking at Hwang Min Nguyen, who currently sits in P7. Good lap from him at the moment. Nguyen, who has gone, who hasn't scored that big of an amount of points over these last 7 races. He'd like to at least get a bit on track in these last 5 races of the season, so we'll see how he is going to do. Currently he is in P7 though, as he heads down into Lake Coombe. He's about a 10th off Tilsley in the first sector then.
Yeah, we might even, since it's only about 12 minutes remaining, I think we might see our car dip into the high 2 minutes, as we do see the drivers do get a lot faster, of course, as they get to learn the track better. But for now, the benchmark time is 2:13. That's the time to beat, set by Tilsley. And yeah, as you said, Sukashka and Sundvik right behind him. Not that far off, to be honest, as this is a long lap. So the longer the lap is, the gaps that just grow a bit closer together. So 1:10 is pretty good, but still, I think the table we see right now might change drastically in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Every time we have a initial provisional pole time coming in Formula 2 in the opening minutes of qualifying, it usually never lasts towards the end of the session. So yeah, we could expect that pole time from Tilsley to come down a bit if we have one big improver, as Håkan Olsen now goes up into 10th. You had Alex Luwan, I believe, improve himself up into 17th at the moment. Henry J. Brown is in 8th at the moment with a 2:01.819. He's actually a 1,000th off Hwang Min Nguyen in 7th, and then looking at the other championship contenders, Below and Socki are both outside of the points at the moment. So at the moment, once again, as it was in Hockenheim, it is advantage Henry J. Brown at the moment.
Yeah, and he does have quite a big championship lead now with 19 points. I mean, you need to realize in the Spec Series that is a lot, because the results just vary and vary throughout the race. You could have probably every single round have a different race winner. I mean, I don't think that's ever happened, but we do have a lot of different race winners around. So as you know, consistency is key. And AJ Brown, with of course 2 wins, 1 more podium, and 1 more points finish, is sitting right now 19 points off, clear of Below. Below right now is in 16th, so he sure needs something to bounce back, because he isn't that far off in the championship fight. So
yeah, it is gonna matter for Below to get a good result here, not only for himself but his team as well. Mind you, Dams are only 14 points off Carouse in the teams championship at the moment. So yeah, after a pretty dismal Hockenheim, they'd want to bounce back here at Spa.
And otherwise, I'd say we can still talk about Axel Socki, as he is still in like only 24, not only, about 24 points off Henry J. Brown, and with a win, and all in theory, with a win, and if the two of them don't score, and if Brown doesn't score points, and Euro does Below, he would take the championship lead. But right now, he's also sitting in 14th, so I guess the 3 we need to talk about is those 3 are still in championship fighting reach. But of course, Henry J. Brown does have the dominant lead over the 2 of them.
Yeah, so advantage is Henry J. Brown. Here, he can afford to have one bad result now that he's got such a big lead in the championship, but it's important not to grow too complacent. So yeah, Tobias Schulenberg there across the line. Can't improve from P15, unfortunately, for the German. He's about 400s off Axel Socke at the moment, who also desperately would need an improvement here to try and at least overtake Jean-Francois below in the standings.
Otherwise, I'd say the the constructor championship is an interesting fight, because as you can see, it's one of the teammates which is very far off ahead, and then the other one is is struggling a bit. It's kind of can't really tell, but of course there are still without this race 4 races left, but including this one it's 5. So still a lot of points to be gained, and we'll just have to find out. As Tilsley now that's an improvement, I think. Yeah, he did an improvement. 1 times faster than his previous lap time, so that's a statement for sure.
Yeah, good stuff from Jake Tilsley. Goes about a 10th faster than his personal best, I believe, which coincidentally is also the provisional pole time. So Tilsley extends his advantage at the top of the table, which is very, very good to see for Jake. He's not had the greatest of seasons, so it's good that he's finally been able to come into his own. But there's still about 7.5 minutes to go in this session, and we all know that in Formula 2 anything can happen in 7 minutes.
Indeed, but of course, yeah, Jake definitely needs a good result here. I mean, he's sitting 21st in the standings, only clear of Nicky Walji. Walji right now is also in 4th, so those two at the bottom might pull out a good result here and push themselves up the standings, which they do desperately need.
Yeah, opposite day is in full effect once again, it seems like. Yeah, we'll just have to see how this is going to move out, or, well, how this is going to play out, should I say, in these last few minutes. Really, Sundevik in 3rd would probably like to qualify 3rd at the moment. Well, obviously, who wouldn't? But High Tech are tied with HWA in the Teams Championship at the moment. So High Tech will be wanting to get a good result here today at Spa, and especially ahead of the likes of Nguyen and Soki. So at the moment, High Tech do have the advantage.
Indeed, only 6 minutes left, soon to be 5, with a 2-minute lap time. That's about 3 minutes left of laps. And of course, at the the longer the track is, the more you have to, because the lap goes on and on and on. It feels like it never ends. So you need a lot of patience, ironically. Patience going at 300 kilometers per hour. So it kind of contradicts itself. But still, I guess that's one part of racing. And only now 5.5 minutes remaining. And Volji right now is on a lap. He'd like to improve, as he's sitting in 4th. Maybe get an even better time to get into the top 3, or even grab pole from Jake Tilsley.
We'll see if he is going to be able to pull it off. Nikhil Walji getting very close to Henry J. Brown, under braking then as they make their way through the bus stop chicane. Nikhil Walji, the second most, sits second in the table for all-time podiums in Formula 2, with 8th, was recently overtaken by Ide Weitz following the last round at Germany. So I think he'd like to take that record back for himself here at Spa.
Yeah, he might have the chance to. As Weitz right now, he's not the best of qualifying sessions, sitting in 21st. So, okay, good for him. But of course, this is a chance for Valji. I mean, of course, this is just stat padding from me, but who doesn't love stats? And Valji, if he's in 4th there, he definitely has a good chance at getting the podium, or even getting a better lap in to qualify on the provisional podium spots.
Yes, indeed. So we'll just see what Walji is going to be able to pull off here, as there is 4 minutes left in the session. And well, I have to say, this is certainly going to be quite the boost to Nikhil Walji this season. He has not been having a good season at all. I think it is probably one of his worst seasons in all of his years in Formula 2. He's only scored 13 points and sits bottom of the championship, so he definitely needs a result like this today. as he now makes his way through Stavelo. It's about 7/10 off. I don't think it's going to be an improvement for Nikhil Walji on this lap. Look to be a pretty slow sector 2. So we're instead going to take a look at Ollie Boaks, one of the two high-techs in the top 10. We'll see if Ollie Boaks can inch himself a bit closer to his teammate. Yes, he can, even ahead of his teammate, as he goes up into second. Great lap from Ollie Boaks, and that takes the Brit a bit closer to the provisional poleman and his compatriot Jake Tillisley.
Yeah, it's a very close lap time, only separated by about 500s. So definitely needs to watch out, Jake, as now we only have 3 minutes left. If you manage to cross the line at the right time, you have 2 laps, but probably soon you might only have one more chance for the qualifying flags to fly, and that'll be the end of the session then. For now, this is the top 5. It's Tilsley, Boaks, Lukashka, Sundevik, and Volji. Let's see how that changes then, or if it doesn't even change.
Yeah, we will just have to see. Immediately, we've had our question answered as Hoang Minh Nguyen now goes up into third. Great lap from Nguyen, and that is certainly what the Vietnamese man needs after a poor first half of the season. But Ollie Boaks, I really have to say, he's been one of the... I think he's been... Wow, I can't speak. He's been one of the more underrated drivers this season, honestly. He scored 1 podium. He's had a pretty strong 2 finishes at Hungary and Bahrain, and he currently sits P9 in the championship. So I think he's done very, very well. He's beating his more experienced teammate, really, Sundevik. So I think Boaks, if he's on for another podium here, it would definitely lift him into the championship. And who knows, if this pace carries on, he could be within championship contention.
Yeah, of course, so it's still to find out. As Soki moves himself up into 8th. That's a good lap by also one of the guys who's actually in the championship fight. Brings himself closer to Brown, actually overtakes him right now in qualifying. So he will have a better starting position as it looks right now. But I say right now because it's a bit less than 1.5 minutes remaining. So let's see what happens in those.
Yeah, crucial for Axel Soki to get himself into the points. Even if it is only P8 at the moment, he'll want every point that he can get here, as Aaron Curtis now goes across the line. P13 for the man in the Campos. Unfortunately, though, it's not quite the top 10. It's down to P14, though, as Tobias Schwulenberg just misses out on the top 10. It's P11 for the man in the Prema with a 2 minutes 1.9.
Yeah,
and,
now...
sorry, go on.
No, I just wanted to say that the time is approaching a half a minute, as I wanted to remind.
Yeah, we've not got a lot left on the clock. About 20 seconds to go then, as we're seeing Tobias Schwulenberg make his way down to Lake Coombe. Schwulenberg, who seems to play second fiddle to Rodrigo Jimenez at Prema. It's pretty surprising considering how he performed last season with Carouse, finishing second in the championship. As Ida Weitz now goes up into 11th. That's looking a bit better for the Swede, but it's not quite the top 10. So now the checker flag has fallen. We're ready for 16 cars across the line, so a lot of guys yet to finish their laps, and the first man to finish his flying lap will be none other than Axel Soki, and an improvement will be crucial for the Norwegian. Let's see if he's going to be able to do it across the line. No, it isn't an improvement for Axel Soki. What about his championship rival, Henry J. Brown, going across the line? It's second for Henry J. Brown, and the Portuguese man extends his advantage even further. Great lap from Henry J. Brown, but it's not quite the pole for the Portuguese man. Jake Tilsley still at the top of the timing sheets, and we'll see if that time will actually be able to be beaten.
And that was a stellar lap by Henry J. Brown, and one he definitely needs to extend the championship gap even more and be unreachable. As now Aaron Curtis comes across the line, he's 15th. Can he improve? No, he says 15th. What about Schwulenberg, sitting a bit outside the top 10, as he now is going to come across the line as well? What will it be for Tobias? It's still 12, no improvement. As Tilsley, I think he could even come in, but no, he does try and go for another lap. Let's see if it's actually an improvement. It is not, but he is on pole for now because there's still some cars that need to cross the line. Like Olsen up into 11th, good lap. Martinez improves by 1 position. What about Soilu? Stays there. Nguyen stays in 4th as well.
Yeah, this is gonna get interesting. Next up is Rowan Shotanas from 17th. Can he lift himself up a position? No.
Oh, below, good lap though, up into 11th. So that might help him out a lot in actually getting into points playing position. Still very far off from Henry J. Brown though. Now we look at Ide Weitz, who's sitting in 13th right now. What will it be for Ide as he comes across the line? And it is an improvement, up into 12th, not bad. I think now some cars are coming to the pit lane, like Alex Luan, or I did see I think Zukaushka is coming to the pit lane as well.
Oh yeah, it's the last 3 cars who were yet to cross the line. They all came into the pit lane. So I think that is it. I think there's is there one more car coming across the line? Yes, there is. That is Axel Socki, who's just about to make his way across the line. And he, unfortunately, does not improve. And that is it then. And on pole position, for the first time this season, Jake Tillisley is on pole here at Spa. And a very, very dominant qualifying effort from Jake Tillisley. I think you'd agree with me.
Yeah, but on top there, whole session pretty much. Untouchable, really.
Yeah, really great showing from him. And we'll see if he's going to be able to carry this performance on to the race then. So, here is your starting grid then for the Formula 2 Belgian Grand Prix. And it is Jake Tillisley on pole position, and lining up alongside him on the front row is championship leader Henry J. Brown. Oli Boaks starts a brilliant 3rd with Hwang-Min Nguyen as well. A very good 4th today for him, as Jakubas Zukauskas will be P5. Really Sunevik is 6th with Nikhil Walji in 7th, and it's Adam Hidayat in 8th. Axel Socki will take 9th, and Gabriel Gomez will be rounding out the top 10.
And just outside the top 10, the man second in the championship is Jean-Francois Bilot, who lines up 11th, Ide Weitz in 12th. Following him is Håkan Olsen in 13th and Tobias Schulberg in 14th. Then we have the 2 teammates of Ari Soyle and Aaron Curtis, landing up 15th and 16th. Rodrigo Jimenez in 17th, the man in 4th in the championship. Then the 2 MP cars of Roman Shotanos and Tuyaton Konkum. In 20th, we have Alex Luan, and not a good qualifying for Uni, as their 2 drivers, Joseta Martinez and Michal Valjak, line up 21st and 22nd.
Yeah, a bit unusual to see them that far down low, but enough about that. It's time to go down to the grid as the lights are coming on for 18 laps here at Spa. And we're on their way here at Spa. Tillisley getting off well, it seems like, into turn number 1. Think he's going to have no pressure from behind. He might, as Brown is having a look on the outside line, might have to hold off Oli Boaks, though, as we head out of La Source. Tillisley will lead from Brown, and then Oli Boaks, Zukauskas and Nguyen side by side. If they're going to head up Eau Rouge and Radion wheel to wheel, they are going to go. Nguyen on the outside line, though, is able to hold off Jakubas Zukauskas 4P4, so good stuff then from Hwang-Min Nguyen on the start.
As now they head down the camera straight. Looks like LB3 wide actually. And it is. Brown tries to move. Boaks has to back down. Tillisley tries to go defensive. He does manage to defend his position, but that was insane. As Brown is still having a look. Has to back out eventually. But now it's Boaks on the attack for a second. As they head into the corner. Boaks just seems so close to taking the position. And he's actually had it. Boaks slipping into second. Brown down into third. And Boaks, that was an amazing move from him. As now we look further down the midfield, there's a lot of fighting as usual, as you know. A lot of drivers coming through as we see them speed by the corner. And 2 teammates fighting as well of Shotanos and Konkum, that is getting very close, but it's respectful racing between the 2. Shotanos comes out on top.
Didn't get a very good exit, though. I think Alex Luan might try something. Here's Rodrigo Jimenez being overtaken by Rosetta Martinez, who's had a lightning start from P21 all the way up into P17. So Martinez enjoying himself in this first opening lap. Then as Alex Luan gets past Tunetorn Konkum, or I think he's maybe facing pressure from Tunetorn Konkum, I'm not sure. But a very interesting opening lap then in the top 3. Oli Boaks showcasing that racecraft of his, getting up into second ahead of Henry J. Brown, and isn't that far off Jake Tillisley now, as Gabriel Gomez is trying to get Håkon Olsen for 12th. Gomez has not had the greatest start. He's dropped out of the top 10. So, yeah, a bit unfortunate for Gabriel Gomez. As we're looking at Rodrigo Jimenez, I think he did go a bit on the curb there. That's going to cost him on exit. And Aaron Curtis is going to try and take advantage of that as we head down into La Source. Now onto lap 2 out of 18. The two are going to be side by side. Jimenez left defending the long way around as we head out of turn number 1 and now down the run into a Rouge. It is going to be Aaron Curtis who gets himself ahead, as there is Gabriel Gomez side by side with Tobias Schwulenberg. Gomez using all the road available to him through a Rouge and Radion. They are wheel to wheel now, heading down the Kemmel Straight and now down into Lake Coombe. There's so many cars fighting with each other there. Martinez and Soilu now fighting as well, as Gomez through the inside line, heading out of Lake Coombe. Now as the outside through turn 9, gets it down on Tobias Schwulenberg, and Ari Soilu is gonna dip a wheel on the outside line of his former Formula E teammate Tobias Schwulenberg, but no nonsense defending from the German though. He's able to hold Ari Soilu back for the time being. Look at the battles though we have going on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a midfield, you know how it is. As now we have Konkum Oramos very sharp. As now the two guys fighting for last here, Luan, that's Valyak. Oh, but he goes very wide, but still managed to keep the position. So now Luan is the man at the back, as he is still pressuring Valyak. But yeah, I mean, that first lap from Holly Bogues, he seems to be a man on the mission, as he's still very close to Tilsley. As they're now heading onto the, you know, this very long back straight that then heads into the bus stop chicane and then onto the straight. Will Bogues bring himself close enough to make a move? Doesn't seem like it. He gets very close. I'm sure Tilsley sees him right on in his in his mirrors. Now heading onto the straight, enough into La Source. Bogues doesn't seem close enough, so he's staying back for now. And as you know, it's fighting in the midfield once again.
Oh,
that's
Aaron Curtis. I think he was fighting with Ari Soilu. Did the teammates make any contact? We'll have to see. I think they did. But I think that was Curtis going a bit wide and just understeering into Ari Soilu. We're going to see what happened here. And this was from quite a long way back as well. Late braking from Aaron Curtis, but I think it was just a bit too optimistic. And unfortunately, he can't get it back on track. And he's going to become the first DNFer here at Spa. As we're now on lap 3 out of 18. Ollie Bogues chasing down Jake Tilsley. Up the hill we will go, and Bogues is going to have DRS as well, as we're now on lap 3 out of 18, heading down the Kemmel Straight. Is he going to be able to do anything into Lake Coombe? Yes, he is. He's going to go to the inside, but no, he isn't close enough, actually, and he's going to have to stay behind.
And this top 3 looks actually very close to each other, so Brown, having been overtaken, still not out of the fight, as now it's fighting in midfield once again. Shotanos onto a move to trying to overtake Martinez here. Martinez defends well, but it's Shotano still on the attack. He's not backing down, as Jimenez has a good look as well behind, trying to go left, right, but still not finding a gap, as Martinez seems to have defended well, but Shotanos is not getting up. He's out around the outside and actually gets the move done. That's him up into 16th. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, good stuff from the Dutchman. Rowan Shotanos up into 16th he goes. Rosetta Martinez could come under pressure there from Rodrigo Jimenez, but yeah, Jimenez will stay behind for the time being. Thuniter and Konkum also in the mix there to try and maybe make a move on Rodrigo Jimenez. As we look a bit further up the field, here is Jokuba Zukauskas chasing down Huangming Nguyen, who seems to be struggling to keep up with the top 3.
Yeah, so I did say the top 3 is did make their way far up into far up, I guess we could say it like that, as they're fighting, but still don't count out the drivers there, as later on in the race they might catch up, but for now they are staying there and battling between themselves. As I did see the top 3 battling as well, they are very close. Still no moves being made for now, but I guess it's also smarter to be a bit more patient now in the early stages of the race than ruin your race here already, as you know, a little error in Spa can mean disaster. But for now, the top 3 stays the same since lap 1, as Ollie Bogues did make that move.
Jake Tillisley, here's something interesting. Jake Tillisley, out of the top 3, actually held the fastest lap for a bit, which means that he is actually the strongest in the top 3 at the moment in terms of pace. That won't hinder Ollie Bogues from trying a move, though, but it just doesn't work for the man in the high tech. Yeah, one interesting thing then about the man who holds the fastest lap, Tobias Schulenberg, down in 14th, currently has the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, so he seems to be having a pace as well. That pace might be useful to bring himself up into the top 10. It's a bit off. It's a bit far off, but I'm not saying he has to stay there. He can prove me wrong anytime and go up the order. But for now, he's there in 14th, and let's see if he can get into the top 10. Who knows?
Yeah, only time will tell. As the top 3 still is very, very close. It's a super close pack for the race lead at the moment, and Henry J. Brown, I think, is just waiting for Ollie Bogues to drop off the pace a bit compared to Jake Tillisley, so he can fall out of that 1 second range of Tillisley and then try and make a DRS overtake, because Henry J. Brown, while he is at the back of this pack at the moment, he is arguably looking really, really strong on pace at the moment.
Yeah, and even this result, compared to his championship rivals, this will bring him up massively, as those 15 points are going to be absolutely good for him. But knowing Henry, I'm sure he's not satisfied with 3rd, and he is still looking very close to Bogues. And if he does get the move on Bogues back, his next target might be Tilsley. But don't count out Bogues yet, as you did see on Tilsley the same move 2 times into the comb. But let's see if he tries it again this lap. Maybe successfully, who knows?
I'd say don't count out Hwang-Min Nguyen either. He just had the fastest lap of the race, and we were talking about how he was struggling to meet the pace of the top 3. It's just changed all of a sudden. I don't know what has happened with Nguyen, but he's just found some pace out of absolutely nowhere, it seems like, and now is actually contending for the top 3 here.
Yeah, this Bogues looks very close to Tilsley once again, but this time he stays behind, he doesn't try to move. But yeah, you're right, Nguyen has caught up to the top 3 pack, so this not turns into the top 4 pack. But even Zukowski and Sundevik, they're all very close, so this field has not distanced themselves at all. As we head back to a bit further down the pack with Jimenez, who's trying to get a move done on Martinez. But then let's get up to the front once again, because Bogues looks very close to Tilsley. He has, for the past few laps, still not able to pull off a move just yet.
Yeah, obviously he had a few looks on Tilsley through Lake Coombe on these last few laps, but on the last lap he didn't even try an attempt for it. I don't know if he's just not wanting to try it or if he's not close enough to try anything. But at the moment it seems like Jake Tilsley has the upper hand in terms of pace. I think he is lapping slightly faster than Ollie Bogues, and Bogues is able to pull himself along using the DRS.
Yeah, so very close, of course, between the pack. Now, as they head onto the back, onto very down back straight and into Blanchimont, which then follows up into the bus stop chicane. We all know. Will it be a move, or will he stay behind? For now, he actually seemed like he had a look, but maybe it was just type of a bit of a small swerve to show Tilsley that he is there. But for now, he does stay behind. Of course, using the DRS once again, which does bring him closer. If he can keep that gap close enough, you might see a move into Lecombe perhaps. For now, he does stay there in second.
Yeah, I feel like Ollie definitely thought about the move into the bus stop, but had to just back out of it. Usually moves into the bus stop are a bit risky with how high the curbs are. We saw Aaron Curtis slam into the side of his teammate Ari Soilu, but Ollie Bogues then has got a pretty good run now with the DRS as well to his advantage. I think he might finally try it on Jake Tillisley. Yes, he is. They're finally going to go wheel to wheel, and Ollie Bogues is the best opportunity for him yet to go onto the race lead as they head through Lake Coombe side by side. Bogues on the inside line, but Tillisley on the outside out of Lake Coombe seems to have gotten the better exit, and through Bruxelles they will go. Bogues will have to remain in second. I think he might have he might have to remain in second though, as Bogues still trying to remain on the outside line through turn number 11 and down to 12 they will go. Boak switches to the inside line now. He's swerving all over the place to try and find the advantage, but ultimately has got quite a poor run out of Puon. Henry J. Brown's gonna try it. He runs a bit wide. Here comes Jokubas Lukauskas to try anything. It's absolute chaos now here in the top 5. Nguyen and Sundevik are now fighting each other. Lukauskas has taken advantage of all this chaos and got himself up into 4th and ahead of Hwang Min Nguyen. Nguyen drops down 2 positions now as Sundevik is up into 5th. Sorry for cutting in there, Giuseppe, but wow, what a battle.
Yeah, I think actually we missed Nguyen's. But I think we actually missed Sukauska's move on Nguyen. Like we did see Nguyen's Sundevik's move onto Nguyen, but I think we missed Sukauska's one. As now we have Soki fighting with Below, for which is the final points paying positions. As I think Olsen is in that fight as well. As the camera cuts back to the 3. Let's see how it turns out. Soki for now is in 10th, but Below is still there.
Was there contact?
I think there was
contact. And Jean-Francois Below, I don't think will be too happy about his championship rival Axel Soki, but now he's gonna have to defend from his teammate Håkon Olsen, who's there on the outside line but isn't quite able to make the move on his teammate. So Below stays in P11 at the moment. No, not quite. Olsen's still there, and they are going to be side by side heading up a Rouge, and Radion Olsen on the outside line gets it done, and Below doesn't get the best of exits. Gabriel Gomez could try and get past the Frenchman here.
Yeah, it's looking very close here for points which could eventually turn into points paying positions if anything happens at the front, or if they get to those points. As Gomez now tries to go the outside, then the inside of course it turns into, and now we're getting into the outside. It's a very close battling between the two. Does Gomez have the upper hand? Let's find out, as actually Schwulenberg is pressuring Below as well. Below is losing all kinds of positions, as I think Gomez might soon enough get the move done. Not quite though, as they stay side by side. Below actually has the position back.
Yeah, good defending from Jean-Francois Below. Tobias Schwulenberg also lost the position to Ari Soilu there. So Soilu now up into 14th and is pretty close to the back of Gabriel Gomez. So we'll see how this is gonna play out as well. So we're now looking at Jokubas Lukauskas. The Lithuanian looks incredible on pace at the moment. He is about 4/10 of Henry J. Brown. And it seems like that all this battling has kind of spread out the field a tiny bit. Ollie Boaks is about 7/10 of Jake Tilsley, and Brown is 7/10 of Ollie Boaks. So I think the gaps are spreading out a tiny bit more than what it was before now.
Yeah, it is still DRS range, so it's not all hope is lost for all of them yet. But of course, as we see Nguyen actually try and make a move past Sundevik, but I think they hit, and that's all turned into that. And now trying to go from 5th, he's going to 7th because Hidayat has taken the position.
Yeah, it's falling apart for Hwang Min Nguyen. He was P4 at one point, chasing down the top 3, and now he's down into 7th. This is not good news for Hwang Min Nguyen.
Yeah, as Belgian now looks to be pressuring him. So soon enough, if Nguyen doesn't watch out, he might be sitting into 8th now as well. As Belgi could get the move done then. But for now, Nguyen does stay into 7th. He surely doesn't have to lose out any other positions.
Yeah, we will just have to wait and see if Nguyen is going to be able to do something here, maybe get a few positions back, but at the moment it just seems like he's tumbling down the order, as here is Rodrigo Jimenez on to Rosetta Martinez for 17th. As Jimenez tries to do it on the outside line, then it's going to have the inside heading out of Lake Coombe and into Brussels as well. Two are going to be wheel to wheel. No, not quite, as Martinez is able to defend from Jimenez.
Let's cut back to the top spots. Boak still close behind Tilsley, although Tilsley, respect him, he's been defending well. He does not want to give up that win.
Yeah, Jake Tilsley has been very, very solid so far in these past 8 laps. Ollie Boaks has just been piling on the pressure onto Tilsley, and well, yeah, I think they are really, really closely matched to each other, though. Both are putting in great performances at the moment, so we'll see which one of these two will be able to claim their first win in Formula 2.
Yeah, but then again, too much fighting might allow Brown back into the fight. As we cut back to the final points playing positions once again, Soki is the man in that position in 10th. Although both look, the car in front and at the back of him do both look very close. And then we cut back to Schwulenberg. Of course, got overtaken by Solo beforehand. Though not much happening right now as of now. And now I'd say let's head into this iconic corner for the 9th time now. Yo Rouge into Rally just to see the cars flying by, but that turns now into the Camel Straight. You know what that is? That's a DRS. That's straight with DRS. So Bogues now might get himself close enough to Tilsley. We'll have to find out as they fly down the straight as well. Bogues seems to be staying behind for now, but he has closed down the gap quite a bit.
Yeah, it's about 0.3 of a second in between the two. He's able to pull himself along using the DRS. Here's Jimenez onto Martinez once again as they are going to head through Les Combes side by side, just as it was on the last lap. Jimenez is going to be on the inside line, and just like it was on the last lap, Jimenez not able to carry it through into Bruxelles.
Yeah, it's actually Luan now might try and get a move onto Concon for 19th, and actually I think he gets it done. That's quite a clean move there. So he's up into 19th.
Yeah, good stuff from Alex Luan. Now Michael Valjak is going to try and lift himself out of last place. Bit unlike Michael Valjak to be in last, but unfortunately he isn't able to get past Lunator and Concom.
As we cut back to two familiar faces here, Bogues and Tilsley. The two Brits fighting it out today, it seems. But now we go out of Stablo onto the straight. Let's see what it can turn out here for Ollie Bogues, as of course here there's not really a DRS straight, as into Blanchimont that DRS wouldn't be safe, but he has a slipstream to his advantage, though he doesn't seem to be getting close enough. Oh, he does close the gap though. Now out of the bus stop chicane, he will use that DRS to bring himself even closer.
Yeah, Bogues seems to lose a lot of time through the bus stop chicane. I noticed he gets very close to Tilsley through the bus stop, but he seems to lose a lot of time on exit. So I think if he could just nail that corner down, he'd be able to get so much closer to Jake.
Although Jake surely isn't complaining about that, as I think he's using that mistake to his advantage, as of course these are the two DRS straights back to back. So if you get the bus stop, if you don't get the bus stop right, it means you kinda are affected for somehow both. But and Tills is using it to his advantage as Bogues gets close, but once again not close enough.
Yeah, Tilsley playing his cards well here. So he's staying behind. Here though, once again, Jimenez and Martinez side by side. This time though, Martinez I think should have an easy time defending on the outside as he gets the better exit, heading out of Les Combes and into Bruxelles. Once again, Jimenez stays in P18.
Yeah, you love to see drivers fighting for every single position, as every single position does matter, as you might never know what could happen. And now we cut back to Valjak in 21st. But I'd say we head up the top of the pack once again, as we are fighting as at the bottom, but as well as the top and in the midfield as well. You love to see it, but that's what Spa brings to you. As now out of Stavlo, let's see what Bogues can do here.
Yeah, it's about 0.3 of a gap. You get such a long run of slipstream down Sector 3, and especially through Blanchimont as well. We'll see if he is going to be able to do anything. He has a look on the outside line there. Oh, as there is contact. Yes, there is contact between the two. I think Bogues was a bit too late on the brakes and just went into the back of Jake Tilsley. And that is not going to do both of them any wonders, I'm sure of it.
I'm not sure they're both happy with that. Of course, they might be, of course, at the top spots, pretty sure they're blaming each other because, all of the adrenaline and you don't really process. But doesn't seem like they lost too much out of that because they're still close together. That could have ended way worse, as you saw before, for example, with Curtis, who is now out of the race. And that might actually be an interesting debrief for campus, I might add. But for now, let's head on to the Camo straight. Bogues bringing himself closer and closer and closer with the DRS. He does not have a look down the inside, though.
Yeah, just wasn't able to get close enough. I think he went a bit wide through Lake Coombe. I think he might have made a mistake. Probably has a tiny bit of damage to our front wing. Maybe one little end plate maybe might have fallen off or something. Maybe just a tiny bit of damage. I'm not sure what it could be, but obviously that's still maybe a tiny, or maybe that's still going to be a tiny hit to the downforce levels on that car. So, yeah, might take a bit of time getting used to.
Yes, he has to watch out because Brown might take advantage of that as he's still very close. The top three again have distanced themselves from the top four, from fourth downwards. I want to say, after that big fight we experienced beforehand. So now it's those three once again left to their own. And Brown has stayed with those two for all this time, maybe waiting and just waiting for the perfect time to strike.
Yeah, Henry J. Brown as well. Props to him for being able to keep up with these two. All of these three guys have looked so strong this race. It's incredible they've been able to keep this pace throughout these last 11 laps. Obviously, but I don't really want to jinx them though. Either way, Ollie Boaks now is going to go to the outside line through the bus stop chicane. They will go, and round the outside he will go. I think there was contact, and yeah, look, there is contact, and Tilsley is out. He is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. Ollie Boaks and Jake Tilsley make contact, and the man who started on pole position here today will come home empty-handed. Oh my goodness.
That's dramatic. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think he just understeered, and I'd say that's a racing incident.
I hate to say it, yeah, that is a racing incident. I hate to say it, but I think that is on Tilsley. He went over the curb and he understeered quite a bit. Boaks did leave him a bit of space. He left him quite a bit of space, in fact. Yeah, Tilsley went over the curb and I guess a bit clumsily just went into Boaks and went off the track as a result. And oh well, that's such a shame for Jake Tilsley. Really, it is. He'll definitely be berating himself for that mistake.
So, one man who will not complain for sure is Ollie Boaks, as well as Henry J. Brown, who now gets 3 more points than would have gotten. But Ollie Boaks now only has one man to fight, and that is Henry J. Brown, because Sukauskas is quite a way off from Henry J. Brown, nearly 1.5 seconds there. So now it's the battle between those two.
Yeah. As we're now looking at Jokubas Sukauskas and really Sundevik, as you said, the battle for third will now kick off, and we could have 2 high-techs on the podium here.
As actually, Sukauskas now surely won't complain at all as well, because now he's been promoted onto the podium positions. And Sundevik, although don't count him out, because this might turn into not only a fight for a lead, but also a fight, as you said, for third position. And Nguyen actually very close to hit that as well. He did so. Nguyen fall down to 7th, now promoted to 6th once again. Can he get 5th back?
We'll just have to wait and see if he is going to be able to do it. It's very close to the back of Adam Hidayat, but isn't able to do anything at the moment.
Yeah, he did have a look though. I did see him swerve around a bit.
Yeah, I thought I saw him do that as well. As here's something interesting now. Henry J. Brown has set the fast lap of the race. Ollie Boaks, after making contact with Jake Tilsley, you'd think he might have the race lead in the bag, but obviously now he could be at a disadvantage considering he has no DRS, and Henry J. Brown is just at the fast lap of the race. Paired with the DRS, he's going to be quite a big threat to the race lead, I'd say.
Yeah, so Boaks surely has to keep an eye out for both of his mirrors, because Brown surely is on a mission now to get that win, which would be his 2nd win in a row. So he's looking strong.
Yeah, definitely. Henry J. Brown is looking super, super strong on form. If he obviously finishes in the podium, that's going to be his 3rd consecutive podium in Formula 2, which would be absolutely incredible for Henry J. Brown. But yeah, we will just have to wait and see if it is going to happen.
Yes, now we look at still the fight for P5. Nguyen doesn't seem quite close enough, but of course that might change now, or maybe soon enough, heading into chicane here. And then, of course, we have Campos and Stablo, and then heading onto the long straight. That's where Nguyen might be able to strike once again. He did have a look, as you remember, Miran, but didn't pay out in the end. But of course, Nguyen actually has to watch out for Valji as well. So it's a big 5 here for P5. Let's see how it turns out.
Yeah, you can see that this little train goes all the way back to, I think that is Håkon Olsen in 10th even, so it's a pretty massive pack. And, well, you've seen what happens when battling starts kicking off in a pack. That's what happened to Hwang Min Nguyen when he went from 4th to 7th. So, yeah, it's important to be wary and not try and make too many mistakes, as Henry J. Brown once again sets the fast lap of the race, and he is a man on a mission here today at Spa. 7 tenths is the gap between him and Ollie Boakes, and while he's got the DRS advantage at the moment, I'd say it maybe is a bit too far for Henry J. Brown to try anything. So we head up Arouge and Radion. Nguyen, 5 tenths between him and Hidayat. Here's Tobias Schulenberg. Once again, putting the pressure on Ari Soilu. 4 tenths is the gap between the two. Heading into Lake Coombe, though, he isn't able to do anything. Here's Schulenberg's teammate, though, Rodrigo Jimenez, who's once again going to go toe-to-toe with Rosetta Martinez, but as it has ended all the times before, he isn't able to do anything and might actually come under pressure from Alex Luan here. He's going to go to the inside line of Jimenez through Brussels, the two side by side then, and into turn number 11. Alex Luan gets it done. Up into 17th he goes. Great stuff from Alex Luan. Took the opportunity perfectly and now gets himself one position. Good stuff from the man in the Carouse. Yeah, moves up one more position as we're looking at Nguyen still chasing down Adam Hidayat. He's getting so close, especially through sector 3, where there's so much slipstream as they head through Blanchimont now. Nguyen trying to keep up then. Think he might have gone a bit wide through Blanchimont and into the bus stop then. Isn't able to try anything. Here's Rowan Shotanus having a look on Tobias Schulenberg, I think. Getting close to the German, but yeah, we'll have to stay behind for the time being and wait for another opportunity to arise. Here's the battle for P3 then, still ongoing as really Sundevik chases Jokuba Zukauskas up the hill. I think his rear end stepped out there a tiny bit. Through a Rouge. That's a bit scary. Not really what you want as a racing driver, but Sundevik pushing the limits to try and get this podium, it seems like. Nguyen into Lake Coombe. Isn't able to get Hidayat at the moment either, and there's about 3 laps to go. So if they want to get past these two guys, they'll have to get a move on. Here's Michael Valyak trying to go into Thunderthorn Konkum, but nothing happens for Michael Valyak, and this certainly is a race to forget for the Croatian. This is not how he'd want his weekend to go. So see Nguyen and Hidayat heading through Puon. You see Sundevik and Zukauskas just up the road there. Nikhil Walji is also in this little pack with Nguyen and Hidayat. He's always been in this pack for a pretty long while now. So Nguyen will have to be quite careful to not slip up into a mistake, because Nickel Walji is going to be there. It's Tobias Schulenberg chasing down Ari Soilu, the other Prema of Jimenez as well, chasing down Alex Luan. Prema, who are gonna come home empty-handed here today. Probably not what they would have wanted, considering they're third in the team's championship and only 4 points ahead of HWA and High Tech, who will be scoring points here today, unlike Prema. So yeah, not that good of a day for Prema here at Spa, it seems like. Nguyen in the DRS of Hidayat now, still isn't able to find an opportunity just yet, and I think frustration might start to creep in, especially when there's 2 laps to go. Here is Alex Luan then. He's going to try to Rosetta Martinez. He's going to try to do what Rodrigo Jimenez couldn't do, as the two will be side by side heading down into Brussels. Luan is able to keep it wheel to wheel. Jimenez is having a look on Alex Luan though, as they head through Brussels now. Luan on the inside line is going to switch to the outside line through turn 11, and Luan shows Rodrigo Jimenez how it's done. Up into P16 goes Alex Luan.
Yes, now we do cut back to Nguyen still chasing after Adam Hidayat here, for which, as he does want to take back P5 he lost earlier on.
Yeah, he's been in hot pursuit of Adam Hidayat these last few laps. And obviously he has been quite good on the pace. It's just that he hasn't been able to... he just hasn't been able to find a proper opportunity to get past Adam Hidayat. And with 2 laps to go, he's just going to have to hope that he's able to find an opportunity like that very soon.
As now we're on to lap 17. And then we cut back to Schulenberg fighting Arizona for 13th. He's very close, just not close enough. But let's see how that battle turns out in the next 2 laps.
Yeah, yes indeed, as we're now looking at Huang Minh Nguyen. So he's going to head up a Rouge and Radion, still in pursuit of Adam Hidayat. And the question will be then if Nguyen is going to be able to get past Hidayat here.
Yeah, Hidayat has been putting on good defending, but of course now Nguyen does have the DRS. I don't think he's close enough though, and he does stay behind for now.
Yeah, he stayed behind for a lot of time. Yeah, I don't think he'll be too happy finishing in the position he is at the moment, considering he'd probably like to get a few more points, but it is points nonetheless, so I don't say he would have complained. I think he still put in a pretty good drive.
Indeed. 6 of course does give you 8 points more, so would be a good result, but it's good to be ambitious and try that move for 5th, but I'm sure that Hidayat will not want to lose that position, as Hidayat himself is 6th in the standings, and getting those 10 points will definitely bring him up. Definitely overtaking Mihail Valyak, who right now is not having the best of races. So this result is just as worth for Adam Hidayat here.
Yes, indeed, as both of them will be fighting out for these very, very important points positions. More important for Hidayat, obviously, considering he is, I believe, with this result, he'll be able to overtake both Mihail Valyak and Rodrigo Jimenez in the championship, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, we're now on the final lap of this Belgian Grand Prix, and it is going to be now or never for a lot of these drivers now.
Oh, you still have my catchphrase? That's mean. No, but nonetheless, it is now or never, especially for Nguyen here. He's been trying a lot of times, and now I think this is his last chance here. So let's see how Nguyen fares.
Yeah, heading up a Rouge and Radion, just hoping to get a good exit here. Doesn't seem like he got much of a good run on Adam Hidayat, but he's going to have the DRS, and I don't think he is close enough to try anything. Huang Minh Nguyen, and heading into Lei Kum, we've had our question answered. He is not. And now then for Adam Hidayat, it's just about bringing it to the end as we're looking at Jimenez. Won't be able to get past Rosetta Martinez into Lecumbe.
Yeah, he's trying as well, and I think actually we have to say it. Boaks has pulled a big gap to MJ Brown, so he might have this assured and secured. But don't count out Zukauskas, who might want to improve his position from third up into second, as he is looking quite close. Let's see if he can bring himself close enough.
Yeah, Zukauskas pretty good on pace. He's left behind really Sundevik, and I guess shattered the hopes of a high-tech double podium here today. But either way, he'll come home for his second podium of the season, and he is getting rather close to Henry J. Brown as well. So I don't know if he is gonna be able to do anything. But this man, who has shown incredible racecraft today, put up a really strong effort as well throughout the entire weekend, will come home for his first win in Formula 2, and a deserved one at that as well. Ollie Boaks is a Grand Prix winner. He wins the Belgian Grand Prix, and it is a great drive from the man in the high-tech. Henry J. Brown comes home for a third podium in a row in F2, and Jakubas Zukauskas will take third here at Spa.
A good drive by Ollie Boaks. Gets his first win, I think, ever as well. So, very good drive by him. And gets a fastest lap as well.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Ollie Boaks. It's the win and the fastest lap. That's 26 points on the board for Ollie Boaks. And I'm sure that's going to skyrocket him in the championship. Henry J. Brown and Jakubas Zukauskas round out the podium. Then it's Sundevik finishing a very good fourth. Great day in the office for High Tech today. And this will be a massive help for them in the team's championship as well. Adam Hidayat finishes 5th with Hangmin Nguyen a close 6th. Then it's Nikhil Walji in 7th with Ida Weitz finishing in 8th. Then Axel Socke and Håkon Olsen, the 2 Norwegians, round out the top 10.
Yeah, and into 11th we have Jean-François Bilot, who once again goes pointless. So I'm not sure that helps his championship hopes. Gabriel Gomez in 12th, Ari Soli in 13th, and Tobias Fullenberg in 14th. Chutanos in 15th, Alex Don in 16th. Jose Martinez is there in 17th, and Jimenez also won up in quite far up in the standings. Pointless as well, as he is in 18th. Trineton Konkum in 19th, and the last finisher, Michael Baliak, is in 20th, and the 2 retirements. It hurts me to say this, but Jake Tilsley is among one of those. All his hopes shattered, and well, he'll have to try again next time. And the other retirement, Aaron Curtis.
Yeah, and that is it then for Formula 2. It's been a very exciting Belgian Grand Prix, I have to say. We've had a lot of overtakes and a lot of great battles here at Spa. And don't be too sad, because the action at Spa is not over. Next up is the Formula 1 Belgian Grand Prix. And if this race is anything to go by, that one is going to be an absolute thriller as well. But before we go then, it's time to award driver of the day, and I'm gonna give it to Ollie Boaks. Call me boring, but I think entire weekend he put in a great performance, super solid on the pace throughout the entirety of the race. He had great pace, showed great racecraft as well, made a lot of good moves, and as a result, it's a super deserved win. So yeah, he gets my driver of the day. What about you, Giuseppe?
Honestly, I have to say the same. That brilliant move onto Henry J. Brown into the first lap, staying behind Tilsley, then going for the overtake, and honestly, Tilsley sabotaged himself, then getting the gap on Henry J. Brown. I'd say he's the logical choice here.
Yeah, he's done very well for himself, and once again, congratulations to Ollie Boaks. But yeah, that's been it then for Formula 2. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Miral.
And I've been Giuseppe.
And we will see you when the ACC returns for the Formula 1 Belgian Grand Prix. Thank you, and goodbye.